I'm joined now by a double-header attraction here. Neil Hudspith is the president for worldwide field operations at DocuSign, and Mick Hollison, the chief marketing officer at Inside Sales. Neil, people touch DocuSign literally all the time, every time they sign their fingertip on a piece of glass to close a transaction, which in some ways is one of the oldest acts of human civilization, isn't it? We use the expression signed, sealed, and delivered to say, look, it's happening, it's done. For DocuSign to be in that role would be interesting enough, but you've also got this whole DocuSign trusted platform thing. I mean, the stats are just astonishing. You've got 50,000 new users signing documents and trusting DocuSign to be not merely the agent of the signature, but the channel for the trust and the relationship going forward. What's it like being in a business that's that old and at the same time that new?
Yeah, you're dead right. It's incredibly disruptive. So we put on probably closer to 70,000 new users onto our platform every single day. Okay. And that in itself is a privilege, so we've got to keep adding that value, and that's growing at about 10% per quarter. So signed, sealed, and delivered, I like, but quite frankly, can you imagine going back to the old way? Absolutely crippling.
Right. And Mick, the challenge of being DocuSign with a business that in some ways is so easy to explain, but at the same time has so many new layers of well, imagine the possibilities of using the cloud to do this right. You guys are bringing some genuinely new approaches to the acceleration of the sales cycle in a business that has challenges like that. In fact, I believe you used the word neurolytics for some of the really powerful predictive and guiding technology that you're bringing to that task. Can you give people an idea of what Inside Sales' vision is of the future of sales acceleration?
Sure, absolutely. Thank you, Peter. So we've now analyzed north of 90 billion sales interactions, so a huge number. We kind of think of ourselves as the money ballers of sales. So for those of you that happen to see that movie, we're trying to bring big data and data science to helping folks like Neil succeed and accelerate in their sales.
Neil, tell me about the challenges that Inside Sales is helping you folks address.
That's a great question. I think one of the main reasons that customers work with us is we create unbelievable efficiencies for their businesses and how they work with their own customers. And there's some great NPS statistics from our customers where we've just done some amazing things helping them be further forward on the front foot in working with their customer base. And then internally, we've got to drive efficiencies as well. And one of the things that Inside Sales has done for us that I think is absolutely amazing is sort of debunk that cliche of we've got to be more efficient. They've allowed us, particularly at the top of the funnel, to actually drive 30% more value to our SDRs and MDRs who are outbound and creating leads for our Salesforce every single day of the week. 30%.
Mick, what Neil is talking about bears out some other research I've seen recently that the really outstanding sales organizations, some people say, oh, we got to make sure everybody's selling. No, actually not. You've got to make sure that your best salespeople are supported by tools and talent that make them as productive as they can possibly be with the kind of metrics that Neil is talking about. What's the conversation like that you're having with people about, it's not about how many cold calls you make anymore?
Yeah, no, it's absolutely not. And in fact, a couple of things that we've learned along the way from our own research that is helping companies like DocuSign out. One of them is that you really want to follow up immediately. You can see a huge lift in contact rates if you follow up with people in the first 5 minutes. Very similarly, you got to be persistent. You need to try 6 to 9 times, not just try 1 or 2 times, which is the typical standard. So when you start thinking about those kind of basic metrics, how you can apply them to your sales organization, you end up much more efficient. You end up contacting many more of the leads that your marketing engine has created for you.
So as they said in Moneyball, let's face it, it's about getting on base. It's about looking at the numbers that really have to do with the things that matter and getting those right again and again and again. Neil, Mick, fantastic to have you here. Great to have, I actually had to ask which of you is going to be the customer and which is going to be the partner in this conversation. We work with you, we work for you. It's a wonderful ecosystem to be part of. I appreciate your being here today. Thank you.
Thank you.